Hang a sign in our nation's capital, back in business. Federal workers getting back to work. Food assistance benefits are forthcoming, and travelers may get a little bit of a break going into the weekend. So lawmakers got enough Democrats to vote on a funding bill to get the deal done. But there are a handful of defectors on both sides of the aisle, and here's a look at some of them. On the left, the 6 Democrats who crossed party lines to vote in favor of the bill. Then over on the right, you can see the 2 Republicans who broke ranks with their party to vote no. So with the swipe of the president's pen, this funding bill is now law. It will keep the government up and running until January 30th. So that means this: 42 million people waiting for food assistance benefits known as SNAP, and the 670,000 government workers furloughed during the shutdown, and then the nearly 730,000 federal employees who had to go to work without pay. They will soon get a paycheck and get benefits restored. So let's talk about it. Live now to CBS News congressional correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns. Caitlin, lest we celebrate progress too fast, I've got some math for you. 78 days. That's all we have between now and January 30th when this funding bill ends, and we could do this all over again. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here, but what is the insurance policy that we won't have this very same problem in 78 days?
Too soon, Reed, too soon. But you're exactly right, because we could be in a very similar situation in just a couple of months from now. But there will be a couple of key differences, and I can walk you through it. First of all, in this package that they passed and was signed into law by the president, it included 3 longer-term funding bills that will fund things like SNAP, for example, those food stamps we've been talking about, through next year, through the next fiscal year. Remember, the reason that we're in this situation in the first place, where we're operating on these stopgap measures and it feels like every couple of months the government is at risk of shutting down, it's because Congress has not passed its traditional appropriations bills that it is supposed to do, these year-long funding bills. This package included 3 of them. So there will be parts of the government that will be funded through next year, which is good news. So there won't be this same situation where the entire government would be shut down. There's also the political aspect of this. Democrats felt like they had some leverage here when it came to holding the line on those health care premiums. Those premiums are going to go into effect in the beginning of January. So that won't be the kind of sticking point, if you will, in the next funding fight, because the funding will have lapsed on the 30th. But bottom line, we're still kind of operating in this environment where these are short-term funding bills, and there is this repeated question of why are we constantly in this situation? There's also the thought, Reed, that in the next couple of months before them, they can pass some more longer-term appropriations bills like the 3 they passed last night.
Well, and Hakeem Jeffries stood in front of the microphone and said that he feels like voters will kick people out of office going into the midterms if they don't see their health care premiums go down. We know Democrats really didn't get what they wanted when they voted no all of this time on those health care subsidies. So what is next for Democrats?
Yeah, this is the big question for those around the country who are already seeing letters from their insurance companies saying their premiums are going up and are wondering what to do next. Here's where it falls into Congress's hands. Next month, around this time, mid-December, the Senate will take a vote on extending those health care subsidies, those Obamacare subsidies that were at the heart of this whole discussion. There's no promise of a policy outcome. In fact, far from it. It's not clear that many Republicans will sign on to that, but they do have the promise of a vote. On the House side, there is no commitment to extend the subsidies as they are currently written. House Speaker Mike Johnson said he's not likely to take up as they are currently written. So even if the Senate passes something, it's not clear the House would take it up. So yesterday, we saw Democratic leaders come up with say they're going to put forward a discharge petition. Remember, we've been talking about that process with the Epstein files. This would be to force a vote on extending these subsidies for 3 years. That is a big ask. That is very unlikely to get the Republican signatures needed for this to go forward, but it is a demonstration from Democratic leadership that they are trying every avenue that they can, and you can bet that this will become a signature issue for the party heading into next year's midterms. But you do have a lot of Democrats who are saying, We're not thinking about the politics. We're thinking about the policy. We wanted this policy outcome. We didn't get it. It's very hard to see how that changes. But we are keeping a lookout for any Republican proposals to address the longer-term issue, which is the rising cost of health care.
Yeah. Big problem in our country. Caitlin Huey-Burns, thank you so much. Good to talk to you there from our nation's capital. So let's talk about the blame game. President Donald Trump says the shutdown is due to Democrats trying to, quote, extort American taxpayers and urge voters not to forget this during midterms next year. But in an exclusive interview with CBS News' John Dickerson, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries talks about that holdout over health care. Listen.
It's unfortunate that Republicans have decided that they were going to shut the government down. They decided to rip away SNAP benefits from 42 million Americans when the money existed to make sure that not a single person went hungry. They decided that they would rather find $40 billion to bail out Argentina, but can't find a dime to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits.
So the short answer is yes, the shutdown was worth it.
The short answer is shutdowns are never things to be embraced. And unfortunately, Republicans decided to embrace a shutdown with their complete control of government rather than sit down with Democrats and find a bipartisan path forward.
Did you find any allies during the shutdown on this question, either health care or SNAP benefits or anything that either surprised you or that you've been able to work with on the other side of the aisle? 3
words, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's been very clear that this health care crisis is not made up, it's real. Republicans have no health care plan, and that Democrats are correct in fighting to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits.
6 months ago, if I'd said to you, Leader Jeffries, Marjorie Taylor Greene is who you're going to be quoting as your ally on anything, would you have said, oh, that makes sense?
I would have said I have a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn.